Good morning everyone. Today I will explain the background of our survey. Our topic is how smartphone usage affect academic performance. Over the past 2 months, we have been collecting and organizing data for this survey to understand how smartphone habits influence student academic outcomes. The problem we focus is the concern that increasing smartphone usage of university students may reduce to their academic productivity because smartphones are used for both academic and entertainment. We want to understand whether this usage actually affects students' learning. Our main objective was to determine through this survey if smartphone of usage affect the academic performance of university students. To explore this further, we have included several sub-objectives like exam smartphone use for procrastination, measure time spent on non-academic phone activities, identify how often phone distant students while studying, assess the impact of nighttime phone use of sleep quality, evaluate effect of phone use during lecture on engagement. To our target population is the university students all over the country above 18 years, and we have used several sampling methods like convenience sampling method, voluntary response sampling method, and snowball sampling method. We have collected response using this Google form by sharing in through WhatsApp and social media all over the country in Sri Lankan universities through our friends. That concluded my part, and now I will hand over to my groupmate Nimtara to continue our presentation.
Here is the quick summary of our findings. The first graph is age and gender distribution. Our participants include different age groups. Most students were between 18 to 20, 21 to 23 years. Both males and females participated almost equally, giving us a balanced data set. The second graph is daily smartphone use. Our research shows that most students use their smartphones for 3 to 4 hours per day, followed by 5 to 6 hours. Only a small number exceed 6 hours. This tells us that moderate to high smartphone use is very common among university students. The third graph is main purpose of smartphone use. The top purpose for smartphone use was social media, followed by entertainment like videos or games. Academic work was less frequent, which shows that phones are used more for leisure than the learning. The last graph shows checking phones during studying. We found that most students sometimes often check their smartphone while studying. Very few students never check their phones. This suggests that distractions from smartphone are a frequent part of student study habits.
Okay, now let's see what are the hypothesis testings we did. We had 5 hypotheses. First one was daily smartphone usage affect academic performance of students in a negative way. So we divided the sample into 2 groups. One group with lower smartphone usage and the other one with higher smartphone usage. And we compared the mean values to test the hypothesis. And the distributions of those both samples were not normally distributed, so we couldn't use the t-test. Instead, we had to use the Wilcoxon ransom test. And you can see the p-value we got. It's greater than the significance level. Therefore, we failed to reject the null hypothesis. Therefore, our alternative hypothesis was not valid. So that means there is no difference in the productivity of those 2 samples. That means higher smartphone usage is not connected with lower academic productivity. The second hypothesis was non-academic phone use during lectures had negative outcomes in academic productivity, like social media using in while lectures. So our null hypothesis is non-academic phone use during lectures does not affect academic satisfaction. So here we use academic satisfaction, not productivity. And alternative hypothesis is there is an effect. But here also, after conducting the statistical tests, we can see our p-value we get is greater than the significance level. Therefore, again, here we fail to reject the null hypothesis. Therefore, the conclusion is there is no any significant negative effect with students using their smartphones for non-academic purposes while in lectures. So our data does not significantly help our hypothesis. And our third hypothesis is, as you can see, the more distractions students get from notifications and stuff from their smartphone is correlated with reduced study hours, reduced effective study hours. And our null hypothesis is there is no effect in study hours and distractions. And the alternative hypothesis is there are negative effects between distractions and study hours. But after conducting the hypothesis test, we can see our p-value is greater than the significance level, and there also we fail to reject the null hypothesis, and therefore the conclusion is there is no any significant reduction in useful study duration respective to the distractions they receive from notifications. And the fourth hypothesis is non-academic phone usage during lectures has a negative outcome in academic productivity, like using social media during lectures, like stuff. And our null hypothesis is there are no effects in between non-academic phone use in between lectures and productivity. And alternative hypothesis is the opposite of that. And as we can see after conducting the hypothesis test, we can see the p-value is again greater than the significance level. Therefore, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. That means again there is no any significance in there are no any effect with using smartphones for non-academic purposes and effect of academic productivity. There are no any negative outcomes in that, as what the test says. And those are the hypothesis tests we included here. And now let's go to the regression analysis. So we conducted a simple linear regression analysis using the academic productivity as the independent variable, and the academic productivity is the dependent variable. Distraction frequency is the independent variable. And as we can see our result, you can see the p-value is again here greater than the significance level, that's 5%, 0.05. And the predictions given by the regression model is not significant because of that. And the R-square value, as you can see, is near 0. That means the amount of the percentage that our model accurately predicts is much lower. But anyway, the key predictions that we can get from our regression model, daily usage of daily smartphone usage, daily smartphone usage in between lectures, and other academic app uses. And our model did not show any meaningful effect on academic productivity as the distractions increased. So now let's see what descriptive statistics shows us.
The data shows that most students are moderate to heavy smartphone users, with the majority reporting 3 to 4 hours of daily phone usage. Additionally, 61% keep their phones next to them while studying, indicating that phones remain highly accessible during academic activities. This is consistent with the finding that most students experience at least some level of distraction, as many reported checking or being drawn to their phones sometimes or more often while studying. Nighttime phone use was also common across the sample. The most students use their phones before going to bed, and over 40% that stated that notifications interrupt their academic work, suggesting that smartphones play an active role in their daily routines and may disrupt focus throughout the day. In terms of academic habits, students rated their academic productivity at a moderate average level of around 5.8 out of 10. Study time also followed a typical academic pattern, within the majority studying being 1 to 7 hours per day. Despite distractions and frequent phone use, students generally maintain consistent academic behavior, as 70% reported submitting their assignments on time often or always.